Yo team, how's it going? Welcome back to the third installment of the Lanky Lifted Tier List series. So today we're going to be doing shoulders. So I haven't done shoulders yet. I've done arms and I've done legs. Arms was pretty popular. People love the arms tier list. I think that's just like a big thing on YouTube at the moment. So I thought I'd just put my own thing into it, Being a bit more niche, as in it's more aimed at the taller, longer limbed lifter. But yeah, hopefully you can learn something from this. As I've already mentioned, if you're a coach and you're coaching someone on the taller side or the longer limbed side, or yourself are a longer individual, sounds random as saying it like that. But yeah, I hope you learned something from this today. So yeah, straight into the shoulders tier list. Let's go. Right, so let's get into it. Shoulders and core. So top tier today we have CJ from San Andreas. So you may notice there's a common theme here of GDA, which is games I kind of grew up on as a kid, and I really like GDA, so I can't wait for the new one to come out. So yeah, tier list dropped before GDA 6. So top tier we have CJ. So these are just exercises that I think, from my personal opinion as a taller person, work really well for my shoulders. So shoulders in general, your front deltoids get worked a lot during chest exercises. I am going to be doing a chest and back tier list after this video, so maybe in the next week or two you might see one pop up. But anyhow, I digress. Tommy is the second tier, so these are just like general shoulder exercises. They're not too bad, they're great. Just you can do them, they're going to be fine. You're going to get to make some progress with them. And Nico, I know I put Nico at the bottom. A lot of people do like Nico Bellic is the top protagonist of the GTA series, but I'm a bit more old school, I like my San Andreas and Vice City. So, and yeah, Nico is just kind of just like the bottom of the barrel. Like, you can do them if you really want to, but you might have trouble doing them due to your arm length being a longer armed individual. Or I just kind of think they're just like meh, whatever exercises, but we'll see. I might not have many of them today. Right, we'll kick into it. So first of all, we have the behind the back single arm cable lateral raise. So this is a great exercise. I've started recently in the past 6 months doing a lot more cable lateral raises, and man, they just feel great on the shoulders, and they're just super easy to do. And yeah, if you want to grow your side delts, as in your medial deltoids, I recommend doing a lot of lateral raises. You won't get a lot of it from just overhead pressing. I know a lot of people say the OHP, you get a lot of medial delt, but it's just such a small muscle group that you might as well just spam it, and like you can take this to failure, beyond failure, and you're not going to have a lot of like recovery or like stimulus to fatigue or whatever Dr. Mike preaches, like you're not going to get a lot of you're not going to have to spend days suffering and pain from anything. You're going to recover pretty quick from them. So I recommend doing these, once a week if you can, with other cable variations. So yeah, do them. I really enjoy them. I'm going to put them in CJ. Having longer arms, you're not going to really run into any problems. Maybe if there's two cable stations that are quite close together, you might have to kind of take turns or kind of like work around so you don't like punch someone in the face when you do a lateral raise, but other than that you should be all good. Also, you may be able to set them up in like those like dual pulley stations. I don't have one of them in my gym, unfortunately, so I have to do single arm cable stuff, which is annoying. You may notice that'll be another common theme, and this is from my personal opinion of exercises that I can do. There's probably a lot of shoulder machine exercises and like free motion lateral raises and stuff that I haven't included in this, but anyhow. Right, next one is a rear delt low cable raise. I don't know if I said that correct, but pretty much you set the pulley low and you kind of bend over, so it's like a bend over rear delt raise, and you kind of brace against your opposite leg and you just pull it up like that, and man, you can actually hoist a lot of weight doing them. So it's a pretty good overload exercise for your rear delts, and yeah, they feel great. I don't know if I learnt them from John Meadows, or I can't remember where I learnt them from, but they're a really good exercise if you're just sick of doing like the standard rear delt raise from the top of the cable station. So yeah, I'd give those a go. Comment down below and I'll try to find a video of it Or actually, I'll probably edit a video of doing it, but that's a really good exercise. I really enjoy that. And you can mix up the grip. You can kind of do neutral. You can do like pronated. So it's a good 2 variations, and you can spam it for a long period of time. Next, we just have the standard in front cable lateral raises. So yeah, as I've already mentioned, the behind one's really good. And you can also do the Y raise version, which is more like that. And they're really good. You won't be able to lift as much weight as just a standard in front, just cable side raise, but they're a really good variation. So yeah, just do your cable lateral raises. And if you have the benefit of being able to do both at the same time on the cable station that you have at your gym, do it. Why not? Why not? Next we have a core exercise, which is the wood chop. So the wood chop's a weird one. I could never really gel with it being quite tall and long arms. Actually, when I do it at my cable station in my gym, I actually hit the top of the cable station where the pull-up bar is. So I actually generally can't do it, and it feels like it takes a lot of space up. And I just, for an oblique movement, I don't know. I know there's also that like dogma around like, oh, if you train your obliques, it'll make you really blocky. And like, bro, like if you're gonna end up getting blocky, you'll know by that time. If you're starting to look blocky, you'll know. And do you know what you can do if you are starting to get blocky? You can just stop training it. Like, it's not the end of the world. It's like when women. Sorry, I know that sounds a bit sexist when I say it like that. But when women start the gym and they think that they're just gonna end up looking like some muscular machine in like a week, it's like it doesn't happen that quickly. You know if you're getting too big. If that's even such a saying, like, you know, to the point you can always stop and you can put it on hold and prioritize another muscle group for progression. Like, it's not the end of the world. So yeah, sorry, slight rant there, but the wood chop, I don't like it. I'm gonna put it in the Nico. I feel like if you can try it, you can do it with bands and stuff. So if you're in the home gym, maybe that might be a good option, and you just band it up to your squat rack from the bottom of the squat rack, and you just do the raise. And another thing as well, I usually felt quite a lot of my arms, even though I know you meant to drag from your core, but it still felt like it was a lot of my shoulders moving. Oh, there you go. Maybe it's a 2-for-1 scenario. But anyway, decline, crunches, sit-ups are the best. Like, if you're gonna do a sit-up variation or a crunch variation, decline benches, you can't really go wrong with them. And if you're doing the plate, if you have to then do plate loaded, weight loaded to progressively overload the movement after, because you're doing so many reps, you can put it in the front. But if that gets a bit too tedious, another thing you can do is you can put it like behind your neck, and man, the stretch you get on that is insane. So, and another thing about the decline bench, if you have an adjustable one, each one is a variation. So yeah, and you can do more of a sit up with your hip flexors. You can do more of a crunch by flexing your spine like that, and it's a really good movement. And this isn't just for tall people, like just in general. I feel like this is a really good core movement, so I'm going to put it in the CJ tier. Next, we have the full ROM lateral raise. I can't remember the other name of the raise, but I'm going to put a video up. I know Jeffrey Schofield was doing it. I don't know if Chinese weightlifters do them as well, but it's like such a lateral raise where you go to the top and you touch. So you have to use quite light weight to do these, I found, and grip can be kind of a bit of a problem to an extent, I found, towards the end of the reps, because I was doing like 20 rep sets. You might not need to go that high, but I was mainly doing them because I had a bit of a shoulder injury at the time, and I felt like it was a good rehab tool. But if you're gonna do lateral raises, I find if you just do them to like parallel or just a bit above, then it's fine. But it's a good exercise. It's a good variation if you're sick of if you've been doing dumbbell lateral raises forever and you want to try something new. You could throw that on a second day or something. But yeah, I'm gonna put it in the Tommy tier. Next we have the incline Y raise, so incline bench. So you kind of just lie on the bench and you do the Y. This is a good movement. I find it stops you from heaving and like kind of cheating. Not that is really a bad thing to do a slight cheat when you're doing lateral raises, just to squeeze out a few more reps. because you don't want to be like a complete robotic cyborg when you're doing lateral raises. But yeah, it's a good one. It's definitely a good variation if you enjoy doing dumbbell lateral raises. So give it a go. I'm gonna put it in the tummy. I find it quite pretty cool. Oh, next we have is the Kelso Shrug. So I first found this on Faz Lift's channel, where he was saying this is a good replacement to fist pulls. So essentially it's kind of like if you were doing a row, but you're just kind of shrugging with your scapula. So I find this, instead of doing it as a lone exercise, it's a great exercise to do when you're training your back. So either you're sitting on a seated cable machine or just some sort of chest supported rowing machine, you can finish off after you can't get another rep, can't get your last rep of just your general row. That's not a word. You can start doing the Kelso shrugs to finish it off, and yeah, it'll blast your traps and your rear delts. So it's kind of like a 2-in-1 exercise. So if you haven't got a lot of time and you just want to throw some rear delt work in on your back days, or whenever you train back on like another body day, Kelso shrugs are great. There is better. I feel like there is better rear delt isolation work that you can do, such as the one where the bend over that I was talking about earlier. That's a really good one. But yeah, give them a go. Definitely give them a go. I'm gonna put them in the tummy for now. But yeah, if you want to go hard on your back days and throw them in the end, it's not a no-brainer really. Next we have landmine press. So this exercise you don't really need to do. Like, it might be quite awkward in your gym as well if you have long arms to do this, just in case you like hit a wall or you hit some obstacle. It depends if you have a large gym, you're in like a big warehouse like corporate or like independent gym, then you might get away with this. But I found it was a good exercise when, I've already mentioned this, when I hurt my shoulder before. It didn't load my AC joint as much, I felt personally. I don't know if that's science whizzes can prove me wrong on that, but yeah, it's a good exercise. It kind of feels almost like a really inclined bench press, but yeah, give it a go. You can also do the push press variation if you really wanted to, but if your main focus on hypertrophy, you don't really need to do any push presses, from my opinion. But yeah, give the landmine a go if you want to try it out. There's no harm in it. You can do it. I'd prefer to do it single arm than just the double arm though, because you can kind of like put a bit of torque into it when you do it. But yeah, for hypertrophy perspective, I'll probably just put it here. Next we have leg raises. Yeah, leg raises are great. Like, these are a good core exercise for sure. Especially if you have one of those like stations where you can just like put your arms on it like that. If not, that's fine. You can use any sort of like pull-up station, squat rack or whatever, and you just hang from it and you just do leg raises. You can also do like, you train your obliques by going up to the side instead, like kind of like rotating as you do it. And if your grip is an issue, you can just strap up. Like, yeah, I guess it is a 2-in-1 exercise for grip, but if your grip's failing before your core, use some straps. Why not, right? It's a great exercise, just do it. So you could do like decline bench one day, and you could do leg raises the other day, and then you could do both different variations of both of them on 2 other days if you wanted to train it 4 times a week, but it's up to you really. Next, this one's going to be controversial. So this is the overhead press, or if you want to call it military press. I know the military press is meant to be slightly different, but I'm just talking about the standard strength specific overhead press, where you press up and then you push your head through. My ability is probably terrible at the moment, but this is a great exercise. But if you are taller and you don't have a lot of roof space, or you do it in a squat rack that has like bars at the top of it, you might struggle with the space. And if you have Olympic plates on, you're probably going to hit the ceiling with it, which I've done in my gym a couple of times in the past. And I found out I just had to keep on little smaller plates on it all the time, and I was like hogging all the little plates in the gym, and I was like, oh crap, man. But yeah, overhead press is a great exercise. I know people complain about like the stimulus to fatigue and stuff, and it wears you out. But if you're like a beginner, like if it's your first 6 months to a year in the gym, that ain't no problem, man. And it's also a great exercise to like learn how to engage your core properly. Like when you do overhead press, man, you're like contracting your quads, your glutes, your core, and it's just a really good exercise to learn some stability. And I feel like I kind of probably made most of my upper body torso gains, like my shoulder gains, from overhead pressing the first year I was doing them. So yeah, I know a lot of noobs tend to go straight to like dumbbell seated back support presses, but nah, overhead presses are great if you do have the space. If you live in a bigger gym, then go for it. Or if you have one of those squat racks where you can just kind of put the hooks on the outside so you're not actually hitting the top of the rack, then that's even better. I'm going to be controversial, I'm going to put on the CJ tier. But yeah, I don't personally really do it anymore. I kind of just do dumbbell or machine at my gym. I have considered doing some seated back anterior delt pressing, which is just where you sit on a bench for the incline and then you just get a barbell and you do your standard shoulder press. I haven't actually got around to trying that yet, that's why I haven't included it in this tier list, but comment below if you think that's a great exercise. And I know people do it on the Smith machine as well, which I haven't included any Smith machine shoulder presses because I've never done them before. So there you go. Because as I say, I do most of my shoulder work with cable lateral raises, and I get most of my front deltoid work from just doing bench presses and stuff. So next we have the Palloff press. So yeah, this one's another one. This is, I guess, this is not really a hypertrophy specific one, but this is another cable-based lift. But I actually like this one, and you can also do it with a band if you're at home. It just kind of feels like it's really good just for like that, like bracing and like stability and stuff. I don't do it often, but like I should do it a bit more often. But it's just really easy to throw in here and there. Say like you're doing your cable lateral raises, then you finish, just do some Palloff presses. Yeah, just give it a go. It is a great exercise. I'm gonna put it in Tommy for now though. Maybe top of Tommy. Right, the plank. For beginners, like for true beginners, I feel like the plank is a good exercise, but after that, there's so many better exercises you can do for your core. So, sorry plank, but maybe if you're an athlete or something, but if you're just in the gym to just develop a good physique, I don't think you really need to do planks. I know you see everyone do planks and push-ups and stuff in the gym when they've just first started, and just like completely burning themselves out with like body weight core drills and stuff. But man, just train your core muscles like any other muscle group. Try and progressively overload it, and you will get stronger, and you will get a bigger, more developed core. I know they say like, oh, you have to see your core, you have to die down, which is true. But if you have bigger bigger abdomen musculature, then it will pop out even at higher body fat percentages. And you can see fucking Paris, Bald Omni Man, he's not super diced, but his core's popping out like a sack of potatoes. Alright, next, I've already touched on this one. This is the push press. So, push press, if you're tall, don't do it, because you're going to end up hitting the ceiling. Unless you've got a really high ceiling in your gym. And unless you're like training to be a bit more athletic, or you train specifically for strength, or like strongman or something, then it's kind of just pointless in my opinion anyway. But yeah, and for hypertrophy, you might as well just do a standing shoulder press. Obviously, it's cool that you can kind of just like put more load on the bar and just kind of go for it using a bit more of your leg drive, but sorry, it's going on the Nico. Next is just a standard rear delt fly, you can call it, rear delt fly. You just set this like just above shoulder height, maybe to your ear or something, and you just pull it down. For this one, I would experiment with where you set the pulley height though, because I know a lot of people see it, your rear delt is straight out, But if you can play around with the level that you drop your arm and you feel your rear delt, where it is most contracted is most likely where you will get the most out of it. So I don't do it straight on, I actually do mine slightly down like this. So it's a good way to play around, and you don't have to have your arm completely straight out as well if it hurts your shoulder, if you hurt your elbow. Just keep a slight bend in it. But yeah, these are pretty simple and you can do them for higher reps. I wouldn't go super low reps on rear delt stuff because it is a very small muscle. But yeah, this one's pretty good. I'm going to put it in the CJ. It's just another variation. You could probably do like, say, every 12 weeks or something, or sorry, not 12, maybe 8 weeks, just swap out these rear delt cable movements if you're wanting to train your rear delts. Right, next, I believe this is just a rear delt fly, but on a bench. Yep, so this one is you lie on an incline bench and you kind of like protract your scaps and push your arms out and then do the rear delt kind of raise. I'm going to call it rear delt raise or a fly. And yeah, this is a good variation to the cables, and if you want to do some dumbbell work as well. And you can change your grip from like neutral to pronated. There's 2 different variations. Yeah, and there's also another exercise you could do quite similar to this called the rear delt skier. And I don't know if GVS invented it, but yeah, that's just another great rear delt movement that you could try as well. But yeah, just if you got long arms like me, just be wary of who's next to you on the bench, and that you've got enough space that you don't whack them in the face with the dumbbell. But yeah, I'll put a clip up of this actually. So it's a good movement. I'm gonna put it probably top of the tummy because I do have a preference on cables. I know it's bad. I know, but. This one is good, is great movement. This is the seated lateral raise with the back support, so you can't cheat at all by swinging loads. Obviously you can kind of do a bit of body English, a little bit of body English, but like you can't like proper heave and hoove if you're doing like a standing lateral raise, which I haven't included on this. So standing, why haven't I put a standing double? Whatever. Okay, right. So the seated one, it's really good. I actually learnt from Jeff Alberts, which is 3DMJ bodybuilder. He's like 52, natural bodybuilder, and he kind of does them more controlled. So when I do dumbbell lateral raises now, I kind of like go at the top, but I actually control on the way down, and man, the burn is insane than if I was just like trying to heave even slightly heavier dumbbells. I do go through phases where I try to do heavier dumbbell lateral raises, but then switch it back to lighter ones and just kind of feel out, because I feel like when I'm doing really heavy, well, so really heavy, like moderately heavy lateral raises can kind of hurt my shoulders a bit. So, but yeah, give that a try. These seated ones are great. I'm going to put them in the CJ. Oh, look at that, it's dropped down. There you go. Alright, this one is a rear delt roll with a dumbbell. So this will be similar to the fly, just instead you'll be doing like a row, kind of like the Kelso shrug. So you're kind of just feeling out your rear delts and doing a row that. I feel like this is a good exercise. So you can give it a go, and if you need really heavy dumbbells, you can strap up, or just use chalk if you wish. If you're not that way inclined to use straps, which is fair enough. I'm going to probably put these in the tummy because they can be a bit fiddly to set up, but as I say, if you're already supersetting something with using the bench, then why not give them a crack. Right, this one is interesting. So I actually really enjoy seated dumbbell, back supported seated dumbbell shoulder presses. Give them a go. Like, obviously being taller and having longer arms, you may have some stability issues, but it is a great exercise for that reason as well. And if you can get the mobility to actually kind of touch your shoulders by building up to it, or starting off with lighter weights and then working up to it, it is such a good stretch on your actual like front delt that, man, it's a phenomenal exercise actually. And I usually swap these in between with the matrix shoulder press machine that's in the gym, and yeah, just give them a go. If you're just training for hypertrophy, or even just training for strength, and you need a variation to the overhead press, barbell overhead press, give them a go. I actually really like them, so I'm going to put them at the top, to be honest. Next we have the shoulder press. So I say I've got a matrix shoulder press machine in my gym, and it's pretty good because you can kind of set it to different heights of where you want it. So I don't know, it's up to you whether you start from your nose level or your chin level or the actual shoulder. It really depends on your mobility, and if it hurts your shoulders doing it a deeper stretch, then it's not always the best option. So, and also if your arms that long that you're topping out the machine, don't worry. Like if you're literally trying to just isolate your deltoid, then the lockout is mainly just your tricep anyway. So, and you can always fill in some extra tricep work for that reason. But if you hit the machine, if the shoulder press machine sucks in your gym, you can do other variations, just like the dumbbell or the seated barbell or Smith machine. Smith machine would be a good, an actual good variation to the actual seated shoulder press machine. So, but yeah, I like this. I like this. I don't know if I like it more than the dumbbell. I don't know. As a shoulder exercise, it is good, and I can actually lift a bit more than I can on the dumbbells. So it is what it is. Right, next. Oh, Russian twists. Russian twists are actually like a really good exercise. Yeah, like if you want to train your obliques, they're a really good exercise. The only problem with this, when you get quite strong at them, you will be lifting quite heavy kettlebells. I usually use kettlebells because it's just easier to grip onto, and your grip may become a limiting factor. So what you could do with Russian twists is do cluster sets, and then it'll give your grip a slight break. And I do recommend using chalk. You could strap up if you really wanted to, but I kind of feel like it just feels really chatty. Just going to town on them, you know. Doing your last exercise, and they're a really difficult exercise, and they'll get you sweating, man. So there you go, conditioning as well. I'm gonna put them in CJ because I actually really like them. And then last of all, we have the ab wheel, which I believe trains the rectus abdominis, which is the muscle, is a part of the abdomen that contributes to the bracing in compound lifts when you're doing squats and stuff. And one thing I'm going to say though, if you do decide to do ab wheels, do them at the end of your program, as in the last day of your week of your first, second, or whatever, how many weeks that you've got, because you will get sore doing these, and I recommend just doing one set at first. And you don't want to like do them on the Monday and then be absolutely wrecked for when you do deadlifts or squats and so on. So maybe put them on the last day of your program, and yeah, give them a go. They're a really good core exercise, and if you don't have an actual ab wheel, you can use a barbell as well, and you can just roll the barbell out on the floor. Maybe put some little 1.25 plates on or something, just to get a little bit of a roll on. And yeah, these great exercises, I can put them there. And that is the end of the shoulder tier list. I know it wasn't as exciting as the previous ones, and it won't be as exciting as when I do chest and back. So thanks for sticking along anyway for this for the wild ride of the shoulder press tier list. Right, catch us around. See ya.